welcome to the next Motivating Mum Google Hangout. As you know, we did have to cancel or reschedule the Hangout with Sue Ishmael of NADS because she's currently overseas and just wasn't able to get on reliable Wi-Fi. But we were lucky to find a last-minute replacement, which is Rachel Kincher of Visionary Group, who was actually going to do an SEO talk at my recent Expo on Awards but couldn't make it due to illness, and there was a lot of people that wanted to catch up on that talk, so that's what we're going to run today. Just a little word of warning, we are having many technical difficulties today. I'm having trouble logging into Google Plus and have been getting kicked out a couple of times, so if I drop out, that's why. Anita, my Google Hangout gal, has got her builders working next door to her and throwing tiles off the roof. So if she has to log in, then you may hear a crash every now and then, that's why, joy of joys. And Rachel has no video, so Anita is going to share her slides and Rachel is going to do the talking. So it'll be interesting to see if we get to the end of this talk at all or whether we just have to end up giving up, but we're going to give it our best go. So without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to Rachel, who will tell you a little bit about herself and then get on with your talk. Thank you.
Thanks, Ali, and hi to everybody out there listening in. Today we're going to talk SEO is dead. So once we've got the presentation up and running, we'll get going on that. Yep.
Do you want to just start talking a little bit about just a little introduction on who you are while we're trying to get the slide up, Rachel?
Yeah, sure, will do. So I started Visionary about 10 years ago. Originally it was started as an event management company, and as things happen, it evolved. I left the business on hold for a couple of years when I fell into full-time work with someone. When I came back, I created marketing as well, so we were doing events and marketing. Then my partner at the time started an e-business consulting company, and after a couple of years we decided that we may as well merge. So we were doing events, marketing and e-business. Then I had a baby and decided that events was just too stressful on top of having a family as well. So we dropped events, and we've spent the last couple of years refocusing onto specifically digital marketing. So my background is marketing, and I've been running, doing marketing for most of or all of my career, which is pretty exciting and a long time, and I've seen a lot of changes, and obviously digital is the hardest to keep up with, but it's also exciting. Anita, if you can go to the next slide, that would be awesome.
I will. I'll just intercede here quickly, Rachel, because we have got some viewers on. And just to let everybody know, we are having trouble with Rachel's video, so Anita is actually sharing the slides for her, which is why she's going to have to say next slide, next slide. Also, my Google Plus is not working fantastically today, which means I can't see your Q&A questions on Google Plus. If you want to ask a question of Rachel during the session, please go to my Facebook business page, and there's a post there that says ask your questions here, and I can see your questions there and I can ask them of Rachel as we go on. Okay, off you go, Rachel.
Awesome, thanks, Ali. So RIP SEO, obviously everybody is, or most people would be aware, SEO being search engine optimization. I'm here to tell you that SEO as you know it is dead, and that we've got a bit of a evolution of what's happening out there in the world of optimization. So you're probably thinking that I'm a bit nuts by coming out and saying that SEO is dead, but we'll see what you think by the end of the talk. Next slide, please, Anita. So what I'm asking you today is, are you ready to be challenged? Are you ready to change your thought process around what you may have been doing or what your beliefs around SEO could be or are? Next slide. So this, who am I? We've obviously already spoken a little bit about me, so I'll skip that. Skip that slide. Let's just go straight to the next one because we've already talked about that. So what does SEO mean to you? And it obviously means different things to different people. So the first thing that will come up there is about mobile responsiveness. Unless you've been living under a rock, you'd have known that Google has changed the way that they rank websites. Google's saying, do you know what? We're going to make sure everybody's got mobile response in the Google rankings, basically. The next one. So mobile responsiveness is a big part of SEO. First page or number one on Google. I'm sure we all get the phone calls, we do, and the emails saying, would you like to be ranked on first page on Google? In fact, what these companies are doing is getting you to throw money at AdWords, and it's a short-term solution to what SEO is, and SEO isn't just about throwing money into AdWords to get on the first page. In fact, the research says that you're more likely to get more hits on your page if you're number 2 opposed to number 1 on Google. The next one there, Anita. Next point down is talking about backlinks.
Sorry, Rachel.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rachel. Can you just repeat the first point on mobile responsiveness? Because you did drop out in sound for me and apparently did for Anita as well. So could you just repeat the first point? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So mobile responsiveness is basically referring to the changes that Google have made most recently to their algorithms. 50% of traffic, give or take a few percent, to a website that's coming in is coming from websites or from tablets or mobile phones. So consumers saying, you know what, we want to see your website on a tablet or a mobile phone, Google is reflecting that in their algorithms and saying, do you know what, if your website is not mobile responsiveness, we're going to mark you down or drop you out of Google algorithms as that occurs over time. So those new changes, mobile responsiveness is absolutely about optimizing your website. Backlinks.
Thank you.
We're talking, yeah, you're right. Backlinks, we're talking quality backlinks. Not that long ago, probably in the last year or two, Google also came out and said, we're going to get rid of link farming. And that is you going out and crazily putting links on everybody's website and hoping that they come back to you. Google has said, you know what, we're going to change that. We're going to get rid of all of the backlinks. And we're only going to be looking for good quality backlinks. So that's also a little bit about SEO. Next one, Anita.
Sorry, Rachel, if you can just clarify what makes a good quality backlink as opposed to a not good one. How does Google judge that?
Yeah, sure. So a good quality backlink is coming from another reputable website. So if you've got directory listings on Motivating Mum or on commerce websites or things that are good quality that are getting a lot of traffic, opposed to the ones that are just collecting links to try and rank themselves as well as you. So it's coming from good quality websites. Optimization, content, images and video. Content is king. It has been for a couple of years, and fresh new content, so not just rehashing content, changing your website, changing your blog, and so on. Images and video are obviously the new thing to be seen. So using images across all of your website and your social media as well. Next one, Anita. And Google actually is saying that we're going to favour video on the front page of websites also. Now AdWords, I said before that AdWords is not solely SEO, and a lot of people get hung up on being sold AdWords as part of their SEO. AdWords is a pay-per-click, so it's an advertising. It's how you advertise to get up onto Google. So it is part of SEO. Next point. Maybe you just flick up all the points, Anita, and then I can just talk to them all. It might be quicker. On website only, so people who believe that SEO is just about being on your own website, this is where things are going to change, or has changed, because SEO or optimization goes across your website, it goes across your social media, it goes across everything that you do on the web. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about internet marketing in a minute. Meta tags and keywords, and also hashtags, if we put in the hash symbol in there as well. Meta tags are really, really important in the back end of your website and having authorship and all of that in the back end of your website. It's also important to be using those same meta tags and keywords across onto your social media as well. So it's moving it from just your website to everything you do online. Probably the key things to good optimization on your website is intelligent web design. So that's making it mobile responsive, it's having navigation that's easy for people to see, it's having something that looks really, really good. And you've got to think of the consumer as much as Google when it comes to your website as well. Competitor research, so you've got to know what your competitors are doing out there, what their websites look like, what their social media looks like, as well as all their products and services that they offer and how you fit into that. SERP indexing, and the next point will be algorithms. SERP indexing is search engine indexing basically, so it's how Bing, how Google will rank your website. Comes into line with algorithms, which is also how Facebook and Pinterest and Twitter and all of those also rate what your presence is on there. So you've got to have all of those, you've got to be aware of what those algorithms and those changes are with indexing. And I think there's one more point there before we move on to the next page, which is about location. And this has also come back into mobile responsiveness. I've got a video at the end that I'll play which really hones in on what location means to your business as well. At this point in time, it's primarily having your business listed on Google Maps, and it's also being able to be tagged and to be found on an offline setting, also online. So that's a bit of a mix about what SEO actually means and what some of those things. So the biggest myth to get rid of is that it's all about being #1 on Google, and it's being #1 by paying AdWords to get there. It's a whole mixture of a whole range of things. So the definition of SEO according to Wikipedia is the process of affecting the visibility of a website or a web page in a search engine's unpaid results. And it's often referred to as natural, organic, or earned results. So it's using all of those things that we've just talked about, putting it all together into a plan, making that plan happen, and then coming up in Google in an unpaid results. So you're getting there naturally or organically. And just the next point there is, the earlier or the higher ranked on a search results page, the more frequently a site appears in the search results, is the more visitors it will receive from the search engine's users. So it's about being on the first 1 or 2 pages. Think about how you search on Google. You'll very rarely go through to the second page. And it'll also be that the more frequently you appear there, and it's not just your home page, it's landing pages that you might have, it's social media pages that you might have, directory listings. So it's how people see your business coming up as well. And obviously the more mix that you have there, the more credibility you'll have. Next slide, please, Anita.
Just a reminder to everyone while we're switching over to the next page is that if you want to ask questions, just ask questions on my Facebook business page, Motivating Mum Oz, because I can't see the questions coming up in Google today. There's a bit of a problem with the Q&A on there. Back to Rachel.
Thanks, Ali. Just click once more, Anita. So this is the internet marketing tree, and it's the way that we tell people about how you market your business online. Obviously the tree roots down the bottom is all about the research strategy, branding, and your content. Your tree trunk is your website. But all of the branches tell you different things that you can do. So online advertising, publicity, social media advertising, or social media marketing and advertising, email marketing, and then through to search engine marketing. And you can see where SEO fits. It's just a little tiny branch as part of the whole thing. So SEO needs to fit in with your entire internet marketing and what you're doing online. Next slide, please, Anita. So even though it seems to be significant and a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on SEO, it's actually only part of the whole big picture about what you do with internet marketing. So from today, I'd like you to be optimizing your website, so using all your keywords and everything, your social media and your marketing, both offline, in an integrated and strategic way. So those keywords there, you're optimizing your website and you're doing it in an integrated and strategic way. So this next slide, please. If we look first at integrated, so why integrated? When you're developing up your website, it's not just a case of creating something and then putting it up. It needs to be in line with your business, your marketing, and your digital goals. Most people in business will have a business plan. Some people will have a marketing plan, and some will also have a digital strategy in place. So your website needs to fit in with all of those things and to actually be meeting the goals of your business. If you take a lot of bookings for events, can you do that online? If you're selling things, can you put that online? So it's also about easing the administration of your business. Yep.
Sorry, Rachel, we just lost you again for a little bit with sound. If you could just back up just to where you were talking about digital strategy and go from there again.
Yeah, cool. So some businesses will have digital strategy. No problem. Some businesses will have digital strategy. So it's about your website needs to be developed to meet the goals of your business. At the end of the day, all we want to do is meet the goals of our business and make money and all the rest. So if your website isn't in line with that, then it's not being integrated. Also, easing administration of your business. So thinking about things that you do in your business that you could be doing online that will ease that administration. If you take a lot of event bookings, then do that online to ease the administration of it. If you're taking other bookings, then you need to ease that administration as well. Membership, whatever you do, selling products online. Your website should also feed people into your sales funnel. Now, obviously, to do that, you need to have an understanding of what your sales funnel is, what are your lead generators, and how do you get people from finding your business or inquiring about your business into actually making the sales. So your website, you need to be very careful that your website actually leads people to making a sale as well. If you're doing those three things and your website is integrated with the rest of your business as well, it's not just a standalone thing. When you look at your website, it should be consistent with all of your social media, including your blogs, and said with your offline communication and promotion. Think about from a consumer point of view.
Sorry, Rachel.
You lost me again.
Sorry, Rachel, we just lost you again, yeah. Sorry, I'm so sorry, everyone. We're just having such terrible technical issues today, but we're just trying to get through. Yeah, we did just lose you again, just for a minute, Rachel.
No, that's cool. So offline communication and promotion, you're looking at anything that happens offline in your business needs to be reflective online as well. So if you meet somebody and you're talking to them and they're telling you all these great things they do in their business, but then you go to their website and it's not showing anything like that and it's out of date, and there's that, you're losing trust in people. So you need to ensure that your offline and online is the same. Obviously your branding needs to be consistent across everything, your logos and colours and so on. And you also need to make it easy for your target market to relate to you. And that's why you do everything that's integrated, that's about meeting your business goals, it's about making the sales, it's about building trust with people, and it means that your target market is going to relate to you and buy off you. So that's why integrated. Next slide, please, Anita. This is a process, a marketing process that we've created in our business. It's fairly detailed. I'm not going to go talk about it, but it just shows there how important researching your business and your clients and everything is. So if you've got good sound research, you're going to end up with strong strategy. You'll be able to develop campaigns within your business. It's going to lead people through your sales funnel and make money and become customers, because at the end of the day, that's what we're in business for. Next slide. Why digital strategy? So if you've got same as if when you write a business goal, you actually then know what you're trying to achieve at the end of the day, and then you can measure that. It's the same with having a digital strategy. It'll ensure that your online marketing is effective and that you're achieving your goals of your business as well. Being effective means that once you get on Facebook, it's so easy to get led astray and start talking in groups or find out what your friends did on the weekend. So if you've got a digital strategy that says, we're actually going to do X, Y, and Z on Facebook, this is what we're going to achieve, then you can go onto Facebook being quite focused. And you know that what you're doing is working towards achieving your goals. It keeps you focused and best use of time. Communicates to team members' expectations. Now, you may be a sole trader and just be in business by yourself, and that's cool. Or you may have contractors that work for you, or you might have staff. If you've got something that's written down about how they perform on LinkedIn or what your website's supposed to look like and how you use it, then everybody's going to understand that. And you've got it there in a strategy. It also allows you to measure the success, because it's very easy to go in and you're updating your website and you're playing on Facebook and you're creating imagery and putting it on Pinterest or whatever. But you don't, unless you've actually got some goals written down, you're not going to be able to measure the success of what you're getting out of using those things and where your best time is. It also gives you the best chance to be future-proofed as well. And in the digital space, things change so quickly. And if you don't have the basis of a good website that's going to take you into the future, or you're not keeping up to date with the way that Facebook changes, for example, then you're not going to be future-proofed and your strategy is going to fall down. So if you've got a strategy that tells you what things you're going to focus on, then you can stay informed on all of that and be ready to tackle the future. Next slide. So I've got a video here that I'm going to play that is just going to, it's a couple of years old, but I think this.
Sorry, Rachel, are you there?
Yep.
We've just lost the sound again. Do you want to go back to the start of that slide?
This one?
Thank you.
Yeah, yep. Okay, well this slide is basically, the video is showing, it's going to give you, it's a couple of years old, but it gives you an idea of the significance of what's happening in the digital space and where it's come from, and then how it's going to change a little bit into the future. And if you're not across all of this stuff, then you're obviously going to be missing out on some customers. So we'll play the video. That's not going to play. There we go.
Anita, are you unmuted so we can hear the sound?
Okay, so that video kind of shows you what where the world's come from, and a little bit about where it's heading into the future. So just looking at that, you need to be optimized on your web presence to be able to rise above the clutter, because there's so much happening out there. You need to stand out from the crowd and be attractive to your target market, basically. So even though it's a real catch-22 because you're doing stuff online to try and get on top of Google, but you also need to be doing it to reach out to your target market as well. Next slide. Sometimes what your target market wants is a little bit different to what Google is going to give you. So what does optimize look like? You're using, and this is just some really quick sort of points, using keywords, your meta tags, your hashtags, and your headings on your website, because that's what Google is looking for. And you're also using those same keywords in your social media. You are using quality, relevant, and original content. And I'll show you in a minute how you can share that content. You're doing social media integration, engagement, and you're sharing. So when you're looking at social media, it's not just about your likes, obviously, it's about engaging with your audience, sharing other people's content also. You're mobile responsive. You've got ethical links from quality sites, which we spoke about earlier. You're using your email marketing. You've got your local search or your Google Maps sorted, and this is probably the thing that people forget about. Your hosting environment, your platforms that you use, your domain names, and also your speed. So your hosting environment is really important, where you've got your website. Obviously, you don't want your website crashing, you don't want downtime. We use only Australian-based hosting for our clients when we build websites. Platforms, again, and this is basically your content management systems that you use at the back end of your website. We use open source platforms here, which is basically you're looking at WordPress or Joomla that we use. There's debates over whether one's better than the other. We prefer Joomla, although we do still use WordPress. And we use Joomla because it's more secure and it's more future-proofed as well. And then domain names as well. And some people go and buy up a lot of domain names. You do need to buy names that will protect your business in the future, but you don't need 100 of them. And speed. Obviously, if your website's slow to load up, people are going to be moving on to another one. And the last point there is Google Webmaster Tools. If you haven't checked out anything in the Google Webmaster Tools, then go and do it. There's a lot of cool little tests you can do on your website. They also have analytics, and every website should have analytics on it. This will give you information about where people are coming from, how they're getting there, what devices they're using, where they're from. So it gives you a whole heap of information that you can use to ensure that you're reaching a target market, or you could be changing a target market. It's free, and all it is just inserting a code onto your website. So have a look at Google Webmaster Tools. Next slide. So put simply, create a functional website and use a web developer with knowledge to do that. And I say web developer over a graphic designer or whatever, because sometimes graphic designers don't have the developer knowledge. Create quality content, and if you can't do it yourself, then use a copywriter, or even use a copywriter just to check your grammar and your spelling. Ensure the design is in line with your business branding, and if you're not good at designing, then use a designer. And then update everything regularly. Update your website, your social media. Again, if you can't manage to do this because you've got other things that you're doing in your business, then outsource it, so use a VA. Next slide. So they're just 4 points, and basically if it's outside your scope of knowledge, then get somebody else to do it. In regards to content, people get overwhelmed with having to create content, but it's really easy to recycle, reuse, and share. So you can share content from your website to social media. You can share your blog and blog information as well. So if people are really interested in what you've said on your blog, then share that, or share a part of it onto social media or onto your website. If you run workshops, then look at how you can repurpose that content into ebooks or into courses. Use the same content into your newsletters and across your social media as well. So when you create something, think about how you can reuse it. Next slide, Anita. That's just a little tip on trying to not be so overwhelmed. The thing to remember is that whatever you do online is that your website has to be core to everything. So some people have Facebook pages and that's their only website web presence. That's really good, but what if for some reason Facebook leaves tomorrow, or the reason that they keep changing their algorithms? That stuff's out of your control. If you have a website that you can update and that you can control what happens on it yourself, then that is core to your success of being online. And that just shows again in our internet marketing tree how everything that you do online feeds back into your website, because that's how you can control people coming through your sales funnel as well and making money out of it. Next slide. There. In the past, and just click it once more, Anita, that'd be awesome. In the past, you've been able to create free websites by using free platforms. social media has been free, search engine rankings has been free, and you've been able to use a bit of marketing or get some levels of marketing for free. The days of using these things for free are gone. Websites that you create for free aren't going to rank highly. In fact, some of them are ranking for the company that you've purchased or used it through, use that platform. So, and they also aren't extendable or future-proof enough. Social media now, particularly on Facebook, and it will increasingly go across the other social media platforms, if you want to get good engagement and good success on that, then you're going to have to, there's an element of that you're going to have to pay for. And it's paying to get onto search engine rankings. You know, an AdWords campaign, while it's short term, will help you to boost your placing. So forget the fact that this stuff is free. As we move into the future more and more, it's going to end up costing you more and more money as well. Next slide. But while you think about the costing, it's still cheaper than putting a TV ad on or putting an ad in the newspaper or whatever. So while it's not going to be free, it's still going to be cheaper. So your take home today, traditional SEO, as far as paying to be on first page of Google, is dead. Today's SEO needs to be part of your digital strategy and your internet marketing campaigns, and it has to be long term. If you want to do this by DIY, then use Google Webmaster Tools, because that will give you everything that you need to be able to make tweaks or changes to your website. To help understand and be updated, you can like, follow, subscribe to Visionary on our social medias. And if you want someone to do it, then you can ask us. Little plug there. Next slide. We're getting close to the end. This video here is the future of digital. It really brings together everything and will make you think. It's done by Chris Riddell, who's a Melbourne-based futurist. And if you have a chance to go and listen to him speak, his presentations are a performance within themselves, and the video really opens your mind to what the future of digital is. So over to Anita to play the video.
The sun is rising on this day of opportunity. Today is the dawn of difference, the day to ensure the experience is better, way better than it was yesterday. Digital can help change your perspective and make things incredible. It's its reason for existing and has the ability to make everything possible. The opportunities that lie ahead are only limited by the boundaries of your imagination. Be sure to wonder and even daydream about how you can turn your ideas into an immersive reality. You cannot outrun the blinding speed at which digital and disruption advances, but you can embrace the platforms that exist today and open yourself to the possibilities of tomorrow. Imagine an interactive future where you are prompted to be involved based on your current behavior. You can simply opt in at the touch of a button. Take the journey of discovery that will introduce you to a climate of change that you simply didn't know existed. I'll help you harness the opportunity for experiments to live and breathe and ignite your advantage. Digital convergence has ensured the workplace and our home lives can coexist, but the way you interact with these environments is unquestionably on your own terms. Function and portability are now located in your back pocket, and its potential is absolute. And those opportunities for businesses to engage with customers on a personal level are right here today. It's as simple as collecting a coffee, catching a cab, banking from the back seat, accessing real-time information, attending meetings, being ahead of your competition, and taking flight. We carry our world with us, and With digital disruption all around us, we now communicate with friends, family, and businesses on devices that were imagined less than a decade ago. We all have the power. We are the reviewers, the ambassadors, the organisers, the advocates, the facilitators. We are the effect of change, and you can be a revolution that is both winning and truly extraordinary. So, if you're ready to grasp the future reality, and this is what the customer demands, there remains only one question. Can you let your thoughts fly and adapt to the opportunity to open your mind and deliver the unknown idea that changes the game forever?
Wow, so the future of digital is pretty exciting, and there's a lot of opportunity there for businesses who can grasp hold of how they can make changes in their own business to do that. And next slide, Anita. Like I said, that's from a guy that's based in Melbourne. So this is just some offers that we have for you. We've got a free digital review and a free website requirements report that we can give you if that's what you're interested in having done. All you need to do is just email us, but I think we'll talk more about that with Ali. So I'm open to questions. Ali, if there's any questions that have come in.
No, someone did just send in a question. They were just saying they missed the name of the guy in the video.
Chris Riddell, Riddell.
Perfect. And I have a question for you as well. Those people that are in small businesses that are sort of competing against the big businesses, not even necessarily sometimes with the same offering, but sometimes the keywords that are the same, how much chance do they really stand against the big businesses that obviously have money to put into this, have marketing teams, etc., etc.? I mean, what chance are they going to get of competing and getting onto the first or second page?
Yeah, sure. Look, it was really interesting because we had when the mobile responsiveness stuff came out, it showed that something like 70% of ASX 200 companies, their websites weren't even mobile responsive. The likes of eBay and Amazon, their sites were not mobile responsive. So Google basically told them, you've got to get it sorted or else you're going to lose traction. And a lot of the mobile responsiveness has hit a lot of bigger companies more than the smaller companies. So it sort of shows that small business are leading the fight or the race, I suppose, in getting there because they're staying more proactive. Keywords, the trick with keywords is to be specific but broad as well. So you're looking at phrases. Really, it's a matter of budget. Typically, the general.
Sorry, Rachel, we just lost you at phrases. If you could just go back. So you were saying specific but broad phrases.
Yeah, so it's about phrases. So if you think about the way that you search on Google, you don't write haircut Melbourne. You'd be looking for, I'm looking for a hairdresser in Melbourne, or where can I get my haircut in Melbourne? So the more general you can be with some of your keywords, then the higher up you're going to be ranked as well. And it's about playing with all those directory listings and things as well. It's a fairly level playing field as far as keywords because you're all starting, it's a budget. And typically AdWords, or what they're saying on most AdWords is that you should be spending around $10 a day at the moment to compete. And often big business aren't paying the money to compete. Yeah. Sounds like a lot, but if you think of it,
I'm going to hazard a guess. I was going to say, I'm going to hazard a guess. Not many small businesses have $10 a day to put into AdWords. That's $70 a week. I certainly wouldn't have that.
Yeah, sure. If you look at it over a space of a month, it's $300, and $300 out in print advertising or whatever isn't going to buy you a lot, whereas you could be attracting 1,000 hits to your website. So yeah, I get that small business don't have the money. I get that, but when you look at marketing, then it's a fairly cost-effective way to do it.
Yeah, definitely. When it's put in that perspective, it definitely is. Right. Well, we haven't had any other questions, but that's fine, because if you want to give everyone your Facebook page, Rachel, and if anyone does have any questions after the fact, I assume that they can go to your Facebook page and pop a question on there for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's facebook.com/visionary group. So yeah, happy to take questions.
And
yeah.
Fantastic. And anything else that you wanted to add? You know, any offers or any special things that you're doing at the moment for business that you might be able to give people a hand?
Yeah, look, we're doing, as I just mentioned quickly then, the free digital reviews. So we can review your digital footprint. So we look at websites, we look at social media, and give you a bit of a report about that. Happy to give anybody on the online a free report on that. We also are running a masterclass this coming Thursday in Melbourne, and it's talking about website effectiveness. So making your website effective to be online. And bookings for that closed today, and it's only $22.
Perfect. Beautiful. Is that everything?
That's everything from me, yep.
Good. Well, thank you so much for getting onto the call at such short notice for us, Rachel. It was good that we were able to present your talk in the end, so thank you very much.
Pleasure.
And also a big thank you to my Google Hangout gal, Anita, who without her these Google Hangouts would not happen. So if anyone wants to know how to run their own Google Hangout or wants someone to manage it for them, Anita does everything for me. She does all of the sending out of all the newsletters and emails. She does a little trial with the speaker before the session to make sure that they know how to use it as well. Gets it all set up on the day and puts out all the fires, which we've had many today, so she's managed to keep it all together.
It's a little challenge today.
Definitely, yeah, it was fun. Definitely speak to Anita, she's amazing. Thank you, Anita.
Thank you. Welcome.
And also, just don't forget, everyone, that I do run the business mums clubs around Melbourne and also in some regional locations and also other cities, so Brisbane, Sydney, Geelong, Shepparton, coming to Echuca, and many around Melbourne. Did I say Brisbane? I think so. So we would love to have you along to Business Mums Club. It's fantastic for regular monthly support and business development, and I like to tell people it's the only sort of networking business group that you can cry in and people won't think that you're absolutely mad. So it's really good for that lovely, lovely support and for helping us all sort of feel like we're not isolated and alone at home all the time. And if there isn't a business club in your area, then I am always looking for more people to host the clubs for me as well, so I can sort of achieve my goals of having them running all around Australia and getting as much help for mums as possible. So we will be sending out an email with the next Google Hangout for next month, and we will be rescheduling Sue sometime during the month, sometime during the year. And I think that's about it for us now. So thanks for bearing with us with all the technical fun today. It's been a joy. See you later, everyone. Bye.
Thanks for listening to me. If you think that you would love to know when my next video comes out, you can. Just subscribe here or here or here or down there or somewhere around here. You'll see the subscribe button. Hope to see you again. Bye.